layering. One of the issues, and Panko spends a lot of time on, is the structure of a message. Okay? There's basically two things in the message. There's the data. This is the actual useful stuff you wanted. Sometimes people call this the payload. Okay? So again, this is what you actually want. So in HTTP, this would be the HTML file that my browser is going to render on the screen. So the file is what I want. However, in order to get it and read it in a right format, we need information about the data, which is called, you guys know your fancy term? Data that describes data is metadata. So metadata, okay, this describes the data, and we'll just put and other things. I need to try to write bigger in here. Does that look a little better? Data and other things. Look at that kerning. You guys know kerning? It's the space between the letters. That is much too big of kerning. So there's a gap there. You see my kerning is awful. But this is how, if you get the handwriting expert, they're going to be like, Dr. Haynes tends to put a big space right here. All right, so there's, anyway, metadata. Speaking of data, about my data. All right, so metadata, this we will call overhead. Okay? So overhead is yucky. We don't like it necessarily, because payload is what we really want. So you judge the efficiency of a process or a, well, this is going to be a protocol when we're done, by how much overhead it has relative to the payload you sent with it. All right? Normally, the metadata is in the header. So the header, this comes first. Okay? This is most of the metadata. This is going to be metadata about what is coming. For example, if I'm doing an HTTP response, we're going to put in data that describes the file. So we might have what type of file, the date it was last modified. What else have I got in here? Do I have anything I care about? Most of that's crazy stuff. So the type of file, the date it was last modified. They might do today's date. And they will actually sometimes identify the server. Okay? In here is also things like cookies. You guys know cookies, right? If I need a cookie, there's going to be in here too. So the header, again, this is metadata basically, so about what is coming. So we do the header first because we sort of want to get the client ready for it. So we want to get ready here. All right? Now, then we'll just have the data. That's easy. We like that stuff. This is what we wanted. So that's one. Number two is the data. The third thing you might get is what's called a trailer. And trailer, again, is going to be metadata. This comes after. So it comes after the header and after the data. The thing is, at this point, it doesn't make any sense to say what type of file it was. It doesn't even really make sense to talk about the dates and anything else about the server. Usually, the trailer is only error detection. There's usually an error detection field. I'll just write that right here. And it's just a way to see, oops, was the data and the header error-free? Okay? So I want to see when everything comes in, was there an error in it? Now I say that, but most new, so if we draw this out, is it drawn here? Normally, and this is kind of funny, in telecom, I'm going to write the header first. I'll put the header up here. I'm going to put the data next. Isn't this funny? And then this is the trailer. That would be really high overhead, by the way. What you would like is a header that's little baby and a big long data and a little tiny trailer. So this is high overhead, that would be low overhead. But just so you know. So we write right to left. And it's because, example, if I put my server here, my client here, we're kind of pretending it moves over the wire. You guys seeing that? So the header stuff gets to the server first. It's like a choo-choo train. So just get used to it, sorry. Headers are the first stuff to get to a destination is usually going to be on the right. But we'll be able to get used to that easy. So that was fun. Look at that. So that's the structure of the message. We're worried about the payload, and then we're worried about the overhead. And we recognize, yeah, we need to know this stuff about the data. Even if I go back here to my simple command, I told you we send a get, and then we ask for this index. Some of this stuff in here is going to be what kinds of files will I accept? What else is really important here? That might be where my cookies come in. But anyway, so that stuff is going to come in the header. Then if I posted a file, that would come down below. That's all right. So header, trailer. Yeah.